Throughout the presentation, as Kevin Johnson, I will be referring to I as I a lot. Okay? Okay. Those of you who know Kevin Johnson, when you catch me riffing on something that he does, or some mannerism that he has, please clap. That will help you show that you actually know the real Kevin Johnson well enough that you caught my little reference, and it will help me in making me feel like you actually like what I'm doing. Oh, come on. I know it's 8:30, but you can be a little bit more lively. Wow, somebody was at the bar too late last night. Blah, blah, blah. Yes, restore, please. Ah, much better. Thank you.
Terrifying moments for a woman who woke up to a strange man in bed with her. The woman screamed. Her brother rushed in to help and tried to fight the offender off. That break-in happened early this morning in the 500 block of Webster Drive in Huntsville. WFF 48's Elizabeth Gentle caught up with the victim. Elizabeth, emotions were running high.
And Mark, the woman, the victim, tells us that a man broke into her house and tried to rape her. Her brother went in and he tried to help her out, but the man got away, leaving behind, though, evidence of his visit. Kelly Dodson was asleep with her little girl inside their apartment on Webster Drive when
I was attacked by some idiot from out here in the projects.
Dodson says her attacker used a garbage can to climb onto the unit's ledge, opened the upstairs window, and then he got in bed with her.
He tried to rape me. He tried to pull my clothes off.
Dodson struggled with her attacker, knocking over items in her bedroom. Antoine Dodson heard his sister scream and ran to help.
Well, obviously we have a rapist in...
What? Just when we get to the good part. Oh, man. No, not okay. All right, let's skip a little in here. Yeah, thanks. Online. Dink. Oh, great advertisement. My favorite.
How do you guess things?
I don't guess, I observe.
I think I'd like you to leave now.
Why? Because I know that you're lying.
Full impact.
She had plastic surgery.
How did you know?
Google. Not everything is deducible.
Skipping ahead.
Terrifying moments for a woman who woke up to a strange man.
Antoine Dodson heard his sister scream and ran to help.
Well, obviously we have a rapist in Lincoln Park. He's climbing in your windows. He's snatching your people up, trying to rape them. So y'all need to hide your kids, hide your wife, and hide your husband because they're raping everybody out here.
The attacker got loose and went out the upstairs window, but he did leave something behind.
Finish. I'm waiting. Must control craziness.
Behind.
We got your t-shirt, you done left fingerprints and all. You are so dumb. You are really dumb. For real.
A crime scene investigator photographed and dusted for prints on the lid of the garbage can and the window pane and ledge. Dodson says he's never seen the perp before, but sends this warning to whoever is responsible.
You don't have to come and confess that you did it. We're looking for you. We gonna find you. I'm letting you know now, so you can run and tell that, homeboy.
Now, if you have any information on this crime, you're urged to call Huntsville Police Department. We'll have much more from the victim.
I'm almost afraid to do this.
Well, obviously we have
What? It's worth it. I'm sorry.
rapist in Lincoln Park. He's climbing in your windows, he's snatching your people up, trying to rape them. So y'all need to hide your kids, hide your wife, hide your kids, hide your wife, hide your kids, hide your wife, and hide your husband, cause they raping everybody out here. You don't have to come and confess, we're looking for you. We gon' find you, we gon' find you, so you can run and tell that, run and tell that, run and tell that, homeboy, homeboy. We got your t-shirt and the left fingerprints and all. You are so dumb, you are really dumb, for real.
The man got away, leaving behind evidence.
I was attacked by some idiot in the project.
So dumb, so dumb, so dumb, so he's climbing in your windows, he's snatching your people up, trying to rape them. So y'all need to hide your kids, hide your wife, hide your kids, hide your wife, hide your kids, hide your wife, and hide your husband, cause they're raping everybody out here. You don't have to come and confess, we're looking for you. We gon' find you, we gon' find you, so you can run and tell that, run and tell that, run and tell that, homeboy, homeboy.
This may be an interesting presentation. Wow, yeah. Well, you get to see 3/4 of the slide, and I will tell you what's on it, and you'll just believe me. What on earth? All right. We are in real mode now. All right, fine. I suppose. We're going to go low tech. That means PDF in presentation mode. Yes, I know. Thank you. There we go. Tactical security operations. Hello, I'm Kevin Johnson. I'm with Secure Ideas, and we are a security consultancy. We started about 2 years ago, and I've been able to put together some of the smartest people in the industry. Just ask them. I'm the author of 3 SANS courses, 2 of which, surprise, they're web-based or web-oriented, and the third one, if you don't know, is about mobile security. I'm a senior SANS instructor, and that says a lot about me. I lead several open source projects, so many I actually lost count. But most of them have to do with web penetration testing, Samurai Web Testing Framework, and Laudanum Yokoso. I've presented at several different venues throughout the US, including, well, now this one, and DerbyCon, DEF CON, and Black Hat. Today we are going to talk about the current state of organization security testing, some of the directions that we're seeing and taking us in this field, including some you actually might gain some value from. We know that most organizations are vulnerable. If you're not, please raise your hand. Okay, good. We have intelligent people in the room. I have never yet attacked a website that I wasn't able to compromise. I know, I say that today, but, and yes, that's actually a Kevin Johnsonism. Attacks are dangerous. They have a possibility of disrupting business, a possibility of disrupting reputation, and you can lose data, you can lose your ability to continue doing business. But having it go public is even worse, right? Well, I like to say that. Unfortunately, the TJX sales went up 18% after their massive compromise. You know TJX was the largest compromise in history. So let's talk about a few public examples. And these companies should be sending me a check since I'm just furthering their name, Bill Clinton. They're just a couple of the organizations that have been publicly compromised, but they fit the bill for what we're talking about. So you guys are familiar with the Sony PlayStation Network hack, correct? Some of you? Basically, Sony pissed off Anonymous. Anonymous said, piss off, and decided to attack everything, even a fashion website that Sony happened to own, style.com. Disclosed over 100 million accounts, including credit card information and other personalized information. The message here, plain, don't piss off Anonymous. Lulzsec, they're close brethren. They have a lot more political bent than Anonymous had before they joined, but their attack on militarysingles.com, I'll just let your imaginations brew there for a little bit. Compromising the secured military personnel. This sounds like a plan. And this is a great opportunity. With militarysingles.com, what they did was uploaded a PHP script. Oh, but the content type said it was a BMP. So the website accepted it in, and then when you tried to access it, it executed the PHP. Hello, great idea. Disclosed over 170,000 accounts, and due to MD5 encryption and weak passwords, they were able to crack the majority of them within a relatively short period of time. Texas Teachers Retirement System. This is a great one. I love this example because it doesn't show any developers' inadequacy on writing code. Basically, 3.5 million names, social security numbers, addresses, and driver's licenses were disclosed publicly. They said the site has not been compromised. Turns out, according to them, the information was available, but not from the main website. What's that say to you? It says to me, it's a web page. They didn't link to it, but they made it publicly available. Yay. This one hurts me. Strategic forecasting, Strat4, anti-sec, or Anonymous, used simple SQL injection to take over a cPanel web administrative console. You guys probably have heard of this if you've been around for a few years. They stole over 200 gigabytes of data. Not megabytes, not kilobytes. They marched 200 gigs of data out the front door without being discovered. We made about $1 million in unauthorized donations, which says, yay, anonymous! Until you realize that many of them lost their ability to accept, many of the charitable organizations lost their ability to accept credit cards because of this. Yeah, we'll skip that one. You get the point. So today, we're going to talk about securing your networks. Or if you're a consultant, how to better secure the people that you're helping. I know this is a lot, this sounds like something that's run-of-the-mill, but we're still not getting it right. And I'm going to present a few ideas that hopefully will resonate with you on the application of the information. So security testing takes many forms. There are various people in the penetration testing realm that will tell you that when they sit down with customers, it's more a matter of determining what their customer's terminology is so that they can figure out what they're actually after. Security testing as a whole plays this out very well. So when I sit down with my customers, we talk about addressing 3 major attack vectors and types of testing to make them better secure. Mostly focusing on vulnerability scanning, not exploitation. Exploitation is scary to many. So when you talk about a full penetration test where I compromise a system and pivot, and then go compromise other systems, a lot of organizations have a harder time with this. So exploitation is usually reserved for the conversation. We find vulnerabilities, and then we go to the customer and talk about it and the potential that it represents. Do we do internal or external testing? Meaning, do I hire a consultant? You're really noisy. Shush. Do we hire an external consultant? Do we build an internal team? Yes? This is a good yes answer. Having an outside team coordinate with an inside team is a good thing. It takes some work, but it allows you to get better perspective of both sides of the attack surface. This works, but we'll show you in a few slides. It takes some augmentation. One of the problems that we run into, particularly when sitting down with customers who have had other consultancies come in or have done their own internal testing, is a problem with consistency. And not even just a problem with consistency, because I've talked to people who are consistently doing it wrong, and they get the same consistent results. And in fact, their measurement system is screwed up because they need to get the consistent results. Unfortunately, attackers don't care. That's great. If you think you're secure, I'm not going to destroy that for you. You keep that zen. However, as those of us who have something to protect, we have to set our sights, and sights of management, as we have to be in constant communication, on consistent testing procedures, consistent measurement of testing, not consistent results. I mean, we want no vulnerabilities, right? But it's far better if we get 5 vulnerabilities that we can then address consistently. And then the next time we do testing consistently, we see that our fixes worked, or didn't. That's actually the bigger value of our consistency. I'm going to skip a slide. I just know it. This thing is kicking 2 slides every one. So how do we get into security testing? How do we learn how? Most people don't know how, and they don't want to, and that's great. Some people don't know how, and they think they might, but they view the world through a scanner's eyes or a tool set's eyes. When you focus too heavily on a tool set and not on you understanding what's going on with the help of tools, we end up with consistently bad results, even if they look good. Some people just think that it's magic. This vulnerability just gave away all of our credit cards. I wish. Turns out it actually takes a lot of time for me to hack these sites. Learning by doing is the best, most proven opportunity for growing in this industry. Be careful. I do not recommend that you go out to Yahoo or Google or your bank and just start hacking them. I might, but I don't recommend it, and I won't publicly say that. I recommend working alongside of somebody who knows, and or taking Hack Me Bank or WebGoat and testing your own skills. There are others out there that are probably even better. If so, talk to me afterwards. You'll find that I like to stick images in my presentations that are just for my benefit. I love this one. This is the the 7-time grand prize lottery winner. How to increase your chances of winning the lottery. Great. Praying? I think praying works. In some churches. Network scanning. This seems as oatmeal and bread and butter as it gets. However, it's still one of the biggest payoffs. Many compromises that I run into come from not knowing what boxes are even available. This can come from either not scanning enough, which generally has to do with a responsibility issue. Among management, it is the fact that people don't understand that, oh yeah, that one in Brazil is also part of my responsibility. Regularly performed, consistently performed, not, I'm going to do the 10.0 range this time, but I'll add in 10.1 next time, and then we'll just do 10.1 after that. Make it a part of monitoring. There are automated systems that you can use, buy, set up, whatever. Put them in place. They're a starting point, not the answer. So what kind of vuln assessment are we talking about? What is a vulnerability assessment? We just scan it, right? I got my web scanner, kick it off, get the results back, and we're good. However, that actually works to some degree if it's the foundation, not the end result. Do it intelligently. I like to say common sense isn't very common. What does that mean? Do your scoping well, first of all. Do we do internal or external facing targets? I've had a conversation with people who have said, well, if our external is secure, why should we spend the money and effort and scan our internal network? Valid argument. If you're an attacker, turns out both. Wait, didn't I just say that too slightly? Yeah, okay, it's a good answer. Yes is perfectly acceptable here. Combining the view of your scanning will help you get a much better idea of your entire organization. What do we look for? Slides that actually want to stay there. So do your vuln scan. Remember, you're the value add. So when you're done with your vulnerability scan, look at the results from an attacker perspective. Many people focus on the high risks. If I can just knock down the high risks, we'll be somewhere. And the truth is, in many organizations, they're so bad, that's a lofty goal. Turns out, most of the sites that I compromise, I generally use a couple low findings in concert. Yes, they're low because they require something else, but most often that something else is there. So pay close attention and think about, what can I do from an evil hacker perspective? Think about what's important to you and your organization, and then match it with what an attacker is going to be interested in. And don't forget that a compromised system is a compromised system from which they can launch further attacks. My goodness. I need to create my own clicker thingy. Somebody have an RF cat. Are you guys pushing my slides forward? Dang. I just like this book because it cost $400. And not only does it cost $400, it's in its second edition. This means that it's a 600-page book about how to avoid huge ships. And the information has changed so much that they paid for a second edition. Okay. I think there's an application in here somewhere, but I'm not going to spell it out for you. So web application testing. Web application scanning, actually. What is the proper time to scan your application? How frequently do we scan our application? We need to get it into the QA process. And actually before, we want to get not only a development edition of our vulnerability, we also want our developers involved. Don't forget, social engineering is key to InfoSec. If you aren't thinking about the results, the impact that your actions are going to have on the people that are involved, you need to hang it up. We want the developers involved. We want automated scanning in QA, and then post-QA. Look for flaws in process. How are we making these mistakes, and how can we fix them so that it's not just a squilly bug, it's a development flaw based on something that we can actually pull a lever and fix. We need to include all of our applications. Many people actually don't know all of their applications. This is a problem. We had a client a couple years ago that said, yeah, here are the main focus boxes. Tell us if you find anything that we haven't listed. Because, well, it's kind of in that bad a shape. And we did. We helped out. Test your purchased systems. Just because you go buy it doesn't make it safe. More importantly, just because you don't feel like you can fix it because you bought it doesn't mean that you don't have to be responsible for it. If you're purchasing something that is vulnerable and sticking it on your network, it's not the vendor's problem. It's not the vendor's network information, trade secrets, and reputation on the line. It's yours. And some of the best flaws that I've seen in the last 6 years have come from a vendor system. Actually, some of you in this room have run into this system, and I wanted to bring it into my class and use it for 542 because it was characteristic of every single thing I teach. So why are web apps? I mean, if I get my network secure, why test the web apps? It's no surprise to you guys. Our web applications are actually 80% of our front end to the outside world. Okay, I grabbed a number. It's close enough. Don't argue with me. If you're at 75, it still applies. The business runs on the web. And thankfully for us, we've chosen a career that's where our fun is. Let's make use of our fun to the good of those that we're trying to protect. What are we looking for? Well, the idea is we need to find our flaws without exploiting them too terribly. Some automated vulnerability scanners will muck up your database, sticking tons of stuff in it that doesn't need to be there because they're verifying that you've got cross-site scripting or you've got SQL injection. So finding the vulnerabilities and causing impact, this is a fuzzy line we want to be very careful not to cross without permission. The OWASP top 10, it's a great place to start. Don't forget it's the top 10, which means that there's a whole lot of those that didn't make it to the list that you're still probably vulnerable to. And a little bit harder for our brains to conceptualize an attacker leveraging, but think about the logic and the process of our web app. The people who are out to get you, they're probably pretty smart. You have it easier because you can figure out the process and the logic behind the site, but don't think that they can. Users are evil. Them, we teach them. I got into a physical penetration gig numerous years ago, and as we sat down with the client the night before, I said, this is not to fire your employees. The people that we leverage will be so embarrassed. They will be your most security conscious people for the next 6 months. And they will be infectious to those around them because they got owned. There's a sweet old security guard that we snuck past, and when we confronted him, he was devastated. Why? Because he cares. Guaranteed, that guy is one of the best security-minded people in the organization. Another time, we exploited some cleaning crew. And the cleaning crew let us into a secured doorway because our fake badges weren't working like that. Turns out, this was a management problem. This cleaning crew had been raked over the coals for not 2 weeks before denying access to an upper-level executive who did the same thing. Only they didn't have their badge, they just forgot it. Problem. What problems are we causing for ourselves? When we talk about user training, when we talk about compromising our users, it's not a matter of hurting them. It is a matter of making them more valuable to the company and more valuable overall. Phishing attacks is one of the easiest wins. Send out the common emails, hey, blah, blah, come to this porn website, or do whatever. Or, dare I say, spear phishing, the targeted approach, where we use knowledge that we have about user types and about the organization. Now, be very careful of culture, because things like this can go very badly very quickly. So we avoid things like, your benefits are about to expire unless you come here. Whether we should or not is actually a conversation with the customers, but we tend to avoid those, or the kinds that just actual fear and endangerment issues we try to avoid. We don't want this to be a scarring thing. However, in some cultures, that may be the right answer. So have the conversation. Make sure that in your organization you know the answer to this. And social networking leakage. Not only what we post, but who we're linked to. This type of thing has given rise to a new class of attack tools. Some of you have heard of Maltego. Give a hand if you have. Those of you who weren't clapping, learn about it. A friend of mine works on the Maltego team and says, I have to know who you are. And he digs through, and the guy brought up 10 of my closest friends, 6 of my coworkers, and I work in an organization that I won't tell you where it is. This is me, Atlas, speaking, not Kevin. And the guy came so close. In fact, he literally thinks that I'm Kevin Johnson because Kevin does some stuff for me that was the best thing. But he's so close to who I am, and I protect it very well. So, in fact, somebody tried to social engineer my wife last night at the speaker's dinner. Yeah. Okay, back to Kevin. Social networks are huge. The information that we can leverage is amazing. I, Kevin Johnson, have been leveraging this for about 8 years. You may know some of my Facebook NIMs. I have 1,000 or 2. They're all much sexier than I am. Generally female. Gee, I wonder why that is. Are you looking at their postings? The people in your organization, you want to be aware. Don't track them. Don't stalk them. Don't do anything illegal or against policy. Talk to your legal and your HR teams before doing this. However, know what people are doing and tying your organization to or giving about your organization. This isn't for violations. This isn't to smack their wrist or fire them. This is for information. Wow. I just love Audrey Hepburn. Enough said. In conclusion, we have to add regularity and consistency to our testing process. We want to make sure that we include all attack points, network, web, and the users. Don't give up on them. You're the only ones that they've got to teach. Set up management metrics of how you're doing over time. Keep track of these things. Again, not as a harbinger of doom or a we suckism, but how are we improving? And is there something that we're not doing to fix the problems? There are 2 different ways to do this. Wow, I like that number. First of all, they're tools. We can leverage tools, or we can use a service. The tools are simple. They're a brain-dead solution. We really just need to be using tools. Scan yourself. Know yourself. In fact, when I go into an engagement, I will oftentimes say, have you done this, 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 and this? Because I want to maximize the value to my customer. We had one instance where the customer says, you're not going to find anything on the network, but I need you to do it. And we did it. And we did it well. And he was right. That happened once. But the guy who was running that network was a hacker. So I kind of knew it was going to be right, but we tested the snot out of it anyway. Even like fuzzing the firewall, it was crazy. Subscribe to a service. I may know of one. Secure Ideas over the past several years has been attempting to reduce the cost of being secure. We've been doing a pretty good job. You all know us as a pen testing company, a web pen testing company, one of the best. My friends say, I don't believe it. But people come to us and they want pen testing. But we've been putting together a service that allows for reduced cost to do periodic testing and manage reporting, do things that streamline your process and allow for you to have a lower overall bottom line and a higher security. Both work well. You want them integrated. You don't have to come to MSS and use our service. Do this on both sides anyway. That's it. Thank you all. Now I have 15 minutes to change my character. How'd I do? Was I a good Kevin Johnson? I just got to say, I have been satisfied every time. Oh, come on. You guys don't know Kevin if you don't know that one, but. How's it going, man?
How's it going? Man. Ow.
I'm just making sure you know how to turn
Turn
her off.
Thanks.
I'm just going to change the batteries.
Oh,
Are you
cool.
in here next?
Yeah, I am.
Okay, they rushed this on me this morning, so
Yeah.
I didn't change the battery
I
yet.
walk a lot, sorry.
Hey, man, it's all good. Well, you can just keep that. I'll just change the battery.
Okay,
that
cool,
way you're good to go as soon as you want to be.
I am.
All right,
As
your full
often as I
bars there.
can.
Ready
Thank
to go. All you have to do is click her
his
on.
wife had chest pains a couple nights ago, and he was supposed to leave at like 6 in the morning the next morning. And she didn't even get out of the hospital until 9. Or no, wait. He didn't get out of the hospital till like 4, and the last flight out was 5. So didn't make it. Yeah? How about you? Where you at? You still working at Amway, or where? What's that? Really?
More ball.
Super.
I'm the other Chris. I do remember you from the VIP lounge.
Did you guys outsource your IT security?
What?
Or
You think
just
so?
the IT?
Is whiskey out yet?
Is it?
I don't know. We have a tomato box full of booze. It's
Oh, I
under the
thought
table.
you-
We're
I
kind
thought
of
that
waiting
was
till
the
like
direction, or
10
they
before we
just
rolled it
outsourcing
out.
a bunch of other stuff.
We'll see.
I figured it out, right? The sweet spot for talking is going to be the 11 o'clock spot.
I'll change my look.
Yeah. 3 o'clock on. So it'd be good for
Wait,
the
that's
switchblade.
kind of.
I dare you to not get
Right. Well, I mean, you see who's talking late in the afternoon, like on this track. It's all like the random fucking talks. Like Duncan and Mike Count.
I'm
like a
talking
switchblade
next,
at 1
and I need to figure out what
Should be
just
alright.
happened with my presentation.
I gotta find out when Roth's gonna get here because
See you
he's
afterwards,
here, but
maybe?
he's not like here doing his workshop. So I don't know if he's talking after Atlas next or Wolf is.
That's what's on the schedule.
Supposed to, yeah. But Raph had a flight issue, so him and Wolf might be switching. I need to find out so I can tweet that shit. But I don't. Wolf doesn't know either.
Kind of hard to miss him.
Okay. Give me your card, and I'll get them to you.
Walk on, Tubby.
I will try. Yeah, I know how that works.
Used to work for the.
I will try.
This is Ken. This is
Oh, this is Ken guy?
Atlas.
This is Ken. This is Bissell. I don't know how you want to be introduced, so I won't say it.
What?
Well, hey Ken.
I don't. Sorry. I turned down a story with NPR because they wanted my real name. You know, sorry, it just works that way. There is that. Can you guys make sure this doesn't lock off while I go hit the
You still need audio for your next thing?
Yeah. You like that?
Jim Sharu. Thank you. Show me your boobs.
Is Jack Rink full hour?
No, it's a half hour. See, noon it stops.
Can I borrow your key? I gotta get. There's a couple guys I ran into that didn't get food vouchers in their bags, so I know where they are in there.
Fucking volunteers. Just hang on to it.
Well, I stuffed the bag, so I'm going. You didn't get my bag. That's for sure.
All right, right on.
I think I'm gonna have to grab my laptop a little bit.
For what?
For I got burned CDs.
DVDs?
Yeah, but
Yeah,
it won't take long.
You just plug it in the power supply. So you get a good heat.
It's only like 80 meg.
Right?
What's up?
Yeah, we let any random asshole just come on stage.
Come on, I got a bag, right?
Fair enough.
Yeah, you ready to be done with this already?
I'm ready to drink. No drinking all night.
Nice.
Not really. It wasn't my intention.
It happens.
British motherfuckers wouldn't go home. Then it turned out when Phil took them to their fucking hotel, they got like thrown out.
What?
Like the manager trying to throw them out, and Phil like had to talk them down.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Which one are they at?
Because they're fucking drunk and like swearing at him and shit. Like their credit cards got declined.